Hey guys, Yankee here, and it has been a long time since I did a Pokemon video, but as we are approaching Pokemon Day and there's been a lot of speculation about what kinds of Pokemon games we're going to get this year, I just wanted to make a video talking about the game that I would really like, and that is a Let's Go sequel. So I am probably in a very small minority where Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are my favorite Pokemon games on the Switch. They're simple. I like sort of how catching and battling is so different, and it helped keep the game fresh for me. It was one of those games where leveling up was very easy, so I like to play RPGs, specifically monster collecting RPGs, where I can just mindlessly level up my Pokemon or Digimon or something. So Digimon Cyber Sleuth and Digimon World DS, I would spend dozens and dozens of hours just leveling up any Pokemon that I liked or Digimon that I liked, right? And I did that with Let's Go. And I really like those games. It's the games that I put the most time into out of all the new Pokemon games. And it's also one that I've been kind of hoping we get a sequel to eventually, right? So this video is going to be me just sort of talking about... I've got a little note here, and I've got it sort of in 5 parts. The first part, is it possible for this to happen? What I sort of want it to be in terms of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee sequel, catching mechanics, the Pokemon roster, and then post-game content. So let's get right into it here with the first point that I brought up. Is it possible that we're going to get a Let's Go sequel this year? I think it's possible. I don't think it's likely. I don't think we're ever going to get another Let's Go game, which is unfortunate because, again, I really enjoyed it. But I think compared to some of the other things people are predicting are going to come out this year, I think it's more likely than those. I see a lot of people really on board with alright, we're getting a new Legends game, a Legends Johto game. I do not see that happening at all. I think it's way too soon for that. Legends Arceus just turned 2 years old last month. I'm recording this February 10th, so it hasn't even been, I think, 3 weeks since the Legends Arceus 2nd anniversary. So I think it's way too soon to get another one this November. It wouldn't even have been 3 years, right? Even with Game Freak's usual 3-year dev cycle for main games, that just seems too quick. I don't think it's going to be Unova. I see a lot of people saying oh, we're going to get Legends Kyurem or Black and White remakes or Black and White sequels, and I don't see that happening either. They've been pretty consistent with how they do their remakes. Diamond and Pearl remakes fell exactly where they should have. If anything, Unova remakes will be sometime in Gen 10. So I don't think any of that's going to happen. I think Johto is very likely. I think, especially with how they've been in Gen 8 and in Gen 9, been sort of adding new evolutions and regional variants and stuff, I think getting something Johto is very likely, right? I don't know if it'll be Let's Go. I hope that it is. I don't know what Pokemon it would be. I've seen some funny fake rumors about what it could be. In my mind, Pichu and Togepi make the most sense for that. Togepi and Wooper was funny, because Wooper is such an odd choice, but it would actually be kind of neat. But yeah, I don't think it's very likely. I think it's possible in my mind because Game Freak's kind of been getting raked over the coals for their games just not being very high quality lately, and also just sort of a lot of things. So I think it would... And they have another game coming out that's not Pokemon at all, so this line of thought doesn't actually work. But I was going to say, it would probably be smart for them to not make as many games and just sort of focus on Gen 10, which is almost certainly coming out next year, and let ILCA, which I'm not very happy about, let them make whatever game is coming out this year, or just have a spin-off game. Have Mystery Dungeon be your game for this holiday. Yeah, it's not going to do mainline Pokemon game numbers, but it'll do well. But yeah, also, now that I think about it, Game Freak having another game in development makes that kind of more likely that they'll hand it off, whatever the game this year is going to be, to somebody else. So, who knows? But to sum up Is it possible we get Let's Go Johto? It's possible. I don't think it's likely. My second sort of thing I want to talk about is the note that I made here kind of sums it up. I want a Let's Go 2 to be more of a sequel to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and not just a Crystal remake. So, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, you have Pikachu and Eevee riding on your shoulder because it's a yellow remake, right? And the whole sort of gimmick with that game was, alright, you get a Pikachu, he follows you around. In a Let's Go 2, it'll probably be taking things from Crystal, and when I say I want it to be more of a Let's Go sequel than just a Crystal remake is, I want them to take elements that they introduced in Let's Go and make that like a part of the Let's Go series. So, some other rumors or like thoughts people have had is like, alright, they're gonna ditch the little Pokemon riding on your shoulder, and it'll just be like you choose to start at the start of the game, and it'll focus more on legendaries and stuff. I don't want that. I like the idea of a cute little Pokemon that you can't fully evolve riding on your shoulder or head the whole game. So I would like that to carry over to a sequel. Also, like, having new characters replace the old ones. Like, the main player character in Yellow was Red, and, like, Blue is not the rival, and then Green is in that game in Let's Go for some reason. Like, keep that going, too, where it's like, alright, we're doing new player characters, new rivals, but the old ones come in and you can fight them, and especially in a Johto where you have Johto and Kanto, like, being able to fight your rival, and then Gold, and then Silver, and then Chris, and then Red, and Blue, and Green, and again, making it a sequel to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Red will probably be somewhere else in the region, and then up on, Mount Silver, you have, like, a double battle against the two player characters from Pikachu and Eevee. Things like that. I want them to build off that game more than just being a Crystal remake, if that makes sense, right? But yeah, that's sort of the gist of that point. Alright, now let's talk about actual gameplay stuff. Catching mechanics. I know a lot of people don't like them. I didn't mind them. I liked catching and battling trainers being very different kinds of gameplay, because usually when I play a Pokemon game, it gets to a point where, like, I'm done doing wild encounters. They don't give me XP. Like, if I bump into a Pokemon that I don't have, I'll try and catch it, but if it's a Pokemon I've seen or like, caught or whatever, I'm just going to ignore it. I just run away a lot. I was never one to actually buy repels, because they always seemed like a waste of money. So I would just run away from every battle and only fight if I couldn't escape, right? Let's Go having very different catching mechanics than the regular battles made it feel less tedious to me, and also it had great benefits. So, like, doing chains, you get, like, the XP boosts and the candies and things like that. So I like all that stuff. So I hope, if anything, they keep that, right? Keep the catching mechanic. They just add more options to it, which, this is Game Freak. They don't really like giving people options, but, like, in dock mode, you use the Joy-Con, you flick it, and you throw the ball. In handheld mode, Nintendo didn't want you flipping your Switch around, so they let you aim with the joystick, throw the ball with A. Add an option to just be able to do that while it's docked, right? Let people aim with the joystick and then, like, hit the R2 button to throw the ball. Like, that would be great. Try and work out ways to make it more accurate, because I played it a lot. I got catching down pretty good, especially Chansey's in Mewtwo's Cave. Like, I could probably catch a Chansey with both Joy-Cons, my eyes closed. I've caught so many of them. But, like, add the option to use the stick and throw it with one of the buttons. That's sort of it, and work on accuracy. That's it. I don't want them to get rid of it. I liked it. I don't think they'd be able to actually add an option where it's like, well, just turn off the battles and then make it like a normal encounter. I don't think that would happen. But adding an option to not do motion controls would be good. Next, the Pokemon roster. And this is where it's going to, like, there's what I want and there's what I think they would do. Where I would want as many Pokemon as they can get. So, you get the 251 Pokemon in Gen 1 and Gen 2. Add all the cross-gen evolutions from, like, Gen 4 and, like, Azurill and Wynot from Gen 3, and, like, the new ones from Gen 8 and 9, and, like, regional variants, and then Megas, and, like, really pad it out as much as you can without needing to bring in a bunch of Gen 3 Pokemon and Gen 4 Pokemon, just the cross-gen evolutions. I think that would be good. Obviously, I think a lot of Pokemon fans would just like, okay, every game just has all the Pokemon again, but I think that ship has sailed. So bulking it up to like, what was it? Sword and Shield had like a base dex of like 400, right? I think that's pretty good. I think Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet had something similar. Try and get it as close to around 400 as you can. And I think that would be really good, like padding it out with like regional variants, and like they have different evolutions now. So like Galarian Meowth having, what is it, Berserker? That'd be cool. Galarian Corsola having Cursula. What is the new Paldea? Paldean Wooper having whatever it evolves into. I don't remember its name. Like, you can get a lot out of that. And then, like, Wordier and Ursaluna, you can really bulk out the decks with all these new evolutions. But what I think they would actually do if we do get a second Let's Go is it's going to be the original 251, Meltan, Melmetal, and then probably some new mythical on Pokemon Go that you catch. And then you get the regional variants, but none of the evolutions. So, like, you can get Galarian Corsola, you can't get Cursula. You can get Galarian Wooper, but it just can't evolve for some reason. Or not Galarian, Paldean Wooper. Like, it seems weird, but that sounds like something they would do. Obviously, I would like them to do more, and I think a good middle ground would be the Galarian, Paldean, Hisuian new forms and stuff get added, where like all the old ones just sort of get left behind. I think that's sort of the compromise, which would be good enough. But obviously, I would want like all the Gen 4 cross-gen evolutions, like a lot of Pokemon, like what is it? Sneasel. We got Sneasel, we got Weavile, and then we have Hisuian, Sneasel, and Sneasler. Like, being able to get all of those in the game would be good in my mind, but I don't know if that would happen. Yeah, so that's it for the Pokemon roster, and finally, post-game content. And this is where I think Johto just has it easier than Kanto does. Like, Gen 1 didn't have a lot of post-game. Gen 2 has a whole other region, so right away, it's already got a better post-game than Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, being able to go back through Kanto and see how things changed. Obviously, you could pad it out more if they wanted to with, like, Sevi Islands stuff, but I don't think we're ever going to touch that again, even though they should be there, especially, like, add the Sevi Islands and, like, add Lorelei back, because she's not in Gen 2. Put her in her house from Fire Red and Leaf Green, something like that, but Johto, main game, Kanto, post-game, right away, that's pretty good. Master Trainers, I did about half of them when I played Let's Go. I don't care for them, but they're sort of whatever. I don't mind them being there, but I wish there was something like else, like have like a higher tier of Master Trainers where they have like ridiculous teams, right? Like higher than gym leaders or whatever, like something, or like on par with them at least, where it's like actually a challenge. Something like that could be cool. I don't remember if there's any like battle facilities in Crystal. I don't know if that came in Gen 2 or Gen 3, but if there's like a battle tower, well, there you go. That's also there. Let's Go isn't really the game you go to for like competitive battling, so there's not going to be an online scene, but adding a battle tower, adding like just having Kanto on its own already is a huge plus. So those are sort of my thoughts on if a Let's Go 2 happens, sort of what I would want. And I just really wanted to talk about it because, again, I don't hear a lot of people talk about Let's Go often, especially, like, it was sort of, like, lukewarm reception at the start, and, like, as new games come out, people have been, leaning more towards those, which makes sense. But for me, Let's Go was just a lot of fun, and I would really love another one, like, being able to go through Johto and then go back to Kanto and, like, shiny hunting again. Let's Go was the first game that I ever did shiny hunting in. Ever since I was a kid, there's an illustration by, oh gosh, I don't remember his name, the main Pokemon illustrator for a long time, where it's gold with like a couple of Pokemon. I think he has like a Croconaw, a Bulbasaur, a Togepi, and a Pichu, and like they're coming face to face with a black shiny Charizard. And ever since I saw that illustration, I've always wanted a shiny Charizard, and I just never got it. Until Let's Go, where I'm like, alright, shiny hunting's easy, like getting Charmanders to chain's gonna be a pain, but like once you get the chain going, it'll be much easier, and I finally got that black Charizard. And so like moments like that where it's like being able to get this Pokemon I've wanted for a long time is really cool. And so, like, I have a lot of fun memories with that game. And it also came out at a time where I was getting excited about Pokemon again after I basically stopped caring after X and Y. So, like, I skipped Ruby and Sapphire remakes, I skipped Sun and Moon, and I came back for Let's Go. And I just had a lot of fun with it. And give me a Let's Go Johto and let me have that fun again. I've been kind of down on the newer Pokemon games. Didn't care for Sword and Shield very much. Don't even talk to me about Diamond and Pearl remakes. Legends Arceus was okay, but it felt more like an idea, less than a game, and it really needs a lot of work in my mind. Scarlet and Violet were fine, but just big open world's not really my thing these days. I've kind of gotten over it as every game becomes an open world game. So Let's Go really is the one that I have like fond memories of. It's only been out for a few years, but I've got like nostalgia for it already, and I'd love to get another one. But yeah, that is this video. I didn't expect it to be 16 minutes long. But yeah, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. That's, I'll say it right here. I won't put money on it because that's a dumb idea. February 27th, Let's Go Togepi and Let's Go something else is getting announced. I'm going to say it. And then when I'm wrong, I'll pretend I never said it. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.